All right, welcome back, everybody. We'd like to welcome to the stage Daniel Gutierrez from Illuminar Coffee in Middlebury, Vermont. Judges, would you please join the stage?
Hey. Hey, hey. Alrighty. Could I go ahead and get my music? All right. And time. Good afternoon, judges. My name is Daniel Gutierrez, and I'm coming to y'all from Middlebury, Vermont. My coffee journey is a long one with lots of twists and turns, but it started about 7 years ago, and basically what happened was wherever I moved, and I moved quite a bit, I got a job as a barista. One of the things I loved about the coffee community was that community. As a young person who yearned for connection, care, and comfort, community was one of the most important things that in my career as a barista that I was trying to focus on. And that's what made me being here possible today. Back in 2019, I had my first competition experience at Brewers Cup in Nashville. And it was there that my connection with the coffee community really grew. I made a ton of new friends and learned a ton. And it was through that experience that I was like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and start my own coffee roasting business. And that's how Illuminar was born. Fast forward a little bit, one of the coffees from my very first lineup was from a producer in Colombia named Felipe Trujillo. This relationship that began about 2 years ago is what's leading me to use his coffee here today. The coffee I'll be preparing for you today is a geisha that was grown at 2,100 to 2,200 meters above sea level. Felipe inherited his farm from his grandfather back in 2016, and in doing so, he wanted to start growing competition coffees. That's what led him to go ahead and plant 6,000 geisha trees along the edge of a forest at the top of his farm. My espresso recipe for y'all today is 20 grams in, 55 grams out. Did I say 20 grams out? I meant 55 grams out. Sorry about that, y'all. So you might notice something a little bit different about your serving trays today. And that's because one of the things I wanted to do was I really wanted to bring the elevation that this coffee was grown to you. This is another young Vermont business, Treeline Terrains, and what you're looking at is a wood carving of Santa Barbara, Colombia, where this coffee is from. In that espresso, you'll find notes of Bing cherry, caramel, toasted hazelnut, tamarind, and it's eventually going to turn into a melon and green apple sweetness as it cools.
Everybody, let's give a big round of applause for Daniel. He's gotten through his first drinks.
Now, being from Vermont, there's a heavy influence of local products. And that's why I wanted today to highlight them, and one of the ways I did that was through my milk. Luckily, being in Vermont, it's a pretty heavy dairy state, so we have many award-winning creameries all around. The milk I'll be using today is from Stratford Creamery. It's about a 45-minute drive from my roastery. And this milk is a whole milk that I put through a freeze distillation method where I took a 50% concentrate and 50% of just the regular whole milk to create the drink I am going to prepare for y'all today, which is going to be a simple cortado. It's about 1 ounce of espresso to 3 ounces of steamed milk. Now, thanks to this freeze distillation method, it's going to bring out a lot of those sugars that are already present in the coffee. You'll find notes of milk chocolate, dark caramel, mixed berries, and a slight orange that's going to remind you of like an orange creamsicle with this creamy milk texture. Please enjoy those cortados. Now my signature beverage, I tried to keep as simple as possible, using one very key Vermont ingredient, and that is a raw honey. And this raw honey is not like normal raw honey. This hive was located near a bunch of sumac trees. And what that did to the honey was it gave it almost a lemony citrus kind of flavor. And when paired with this coffee, it does amazing things that you guys are gonna get to enjoy very soon. So my recipe for my signature beverage today is espresso, an ounce of unsweetened coconut milk, and then a syrup using that very specific honey that basically simmered for about 24 hours with rosemary, and then wasabi was mixed in at the end. Today I'll be also smoke rinsing your glasses in order to enhance the rosemary aroma present in the drink. In addition to that, I'll be rimming the glass with that same syrup and then a sumac sugar, so that in addition to smelling, tasting, you can also feel that how powerful that sumac is. It's funny, originally this drink has probably had at least 10 iterations, and almost every iteration leading up to this week had cranberries, because I wanted a way to bring out acidity in the coffee. Then I forgot cranberries during a run through, so I just tried the drink, and I was like, wow, this doesn't need cranberries because it already tastes like cranberries. And what you're gonna find in this drink, it turns into this beautiful foresty drink where you have cranberries, you have pine, the texture of a milkshake, and it's almost going to remind you of drinking a pina colada. I ask that as you drink this, to go ahead and run your hands through the mountains on the serving tray to really get an idea of how high of an elevation this coffee was grown at. And I'll go ahead and point out the farm is right around here. Right here. Right here. I want to thank y'all for coming and trying these drinks and trying this amazing coffee. I hope y'all have enjoyed, and I'm going to go ahead and call time.
Here. Deep breath. Deep breath. Good job. Well done.
Thank you.
You and I were talking earlier about how we're both from really small communities. Does anybody back home really get what you're doing here today?
Oh yeah, I actually have a couple people from back home. My partner and coach, Grace, she super helpful. I even Doug, a regular at the shop I work at, has even come out to visit from Vermont. And the whole Vermont coffee community, we're really tight-knit, but I wouldn't be here for everybody in the Vermont coffee community, especially Maya over here, who was instrumental in helping me get all this together and has provided me so much emotional support with this. It's been really great.
Well done. Super proud of you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We're going to take a minute Pay attention to our sponsors. We'll be right back.